Hello everyone, today is Thursday, November the 2nd, and I have two things to share with you today. First of all, I have a fabulous rack I would like to share with you. My postcard pal and I from Stitch from Stash, one of them, decided that we would have Christmas exchange with each other, and we decided to do it in the month of November because the month of December is crazy busy, and that way we get our things earlier. Anyway, I want to share my rack with you. This is my gift from Terry, and I just wanted to thank her again. I've already thanked her in person, but I want to thank her again. This is a lovely pattern. Let's sew. And y'all are probably familiar with Ursula Michael and her designs. I like this one because I sew, and this also has all about cross stitching and needlepoint in it as well. So it suits me beautifully, and I'm going to do that for my sewing room. And then this was on my wish list, and Terry got it for me. Isn't that precious? Look at the sewing spools. I just love this one. And this is a Christmas spool tree is the name of it. It's a Sue Hillis design, which I think her whimsical designs just suit my taste so well. So I definitely want to do that for my house. And then this is just beautiful. This is a Stony Creek pattern. And this is Christmas Sentimentals. It's faith, hope, love, joy, and peace. Isn't that beautiful? Just beautiful. This one has got to go on my wish list to stitch for next year. So I hit the jackpot, 3 fabulous patterns. And this is a star detailer. I had seen someone use this before when they were trying to capture those threads on the back when you have such a short remainder, left over, and you're trying to salvage that last stitch instead of having, to rethread. I do that, and I use my needle threader to grab it now, but this looks like it would be so much easier and so much more delicate. So thank you, Terry. What a fabulous Christmas present. I just thank you so, so much. So that's the first thing I wanted to tell you. This has been so much fun. We're stitching from Stash, and this means that Terry had to save up some of her Stitch from Stash money because, our gifts count against us. So Terry, thank you, especially because of that. I really do appreciate it. All right. The next thing I want to tell you is that on November 1st, I participated in a sale, and it was with the Facebook group Soulful Stitchers. And of course, I'm in that group because I'm in the year of WIPS this year. And they were doing a sale that was a Little House Needleworks sale. You could work on anything that was Little House Needleworks. And so this year, coming up in 2018, I have signed up to do a sale with Cross Stitch Finish Line. It's called the Serial Sale, and you're supposed to start something on the first of every month or work on a piece the first of every month. It is a series of patterns that are like your monthly series, or in this case, it's the Hometown Holiday Series. Well, I plan on starting that in January, and then I see where Soulful Stitchers is having their Little House Needleworks sale for November 1st, and I thought, I have that ready and kitted, and I would love to see how long it would take me to do one. I've never done one of these little hometown pieces yet, so let me just see how it does. So I picked out one I liked a lot, and you've seen this probably on Vanna's channel because she did that pickup truck for her twins, for their Christmas ornament this year. But this is called Tree Lot, and so it was the first one that I grabbed, and I stitched it on a beautiful fabric that I got from Stitcher's Paradise out in Las Vegas. And I had used half of this fabric for one of my sister's gifts, which, by the way, she hasn't watched that video yet, but she said it is calling her name. So hopefully she'll be strong enough not to watch it till after she's gifted her Christmas presents. But I had half of that fabric left over. So this is the piece that I decided to use. I should be able to get 4 on here. And I'm already looking to pick up another piece to do the other 6. Because I have 10 of these that I want to do. So this is my finish. I had to start on the 1st and I finished it today. And this is my tree lot from Little House Needleworks Hometown Holiday. Now, I'll tell you the only change I made in this is that I inserted the red beads. That was supposed to be the same variegated red here, which is barn door. And I decided that at Christmas, I wanted Christmas lights and I wanted the candy canes to stand out like they were lit up. So I just had these mill hills in my stash and I pulled them out and used them for those what would have been just crosses in there for the lights and for the candy canes on the sign. And I just substituted the beads. And I think they came out really cute. This is a quick stitch. It's not hard to do. It's actually quite fun. It had a lot of these little motifs. You know, each of the trees on the top row are different, and then the 3 on the bottom are in the tree farm, I guess. But I just loved it. I thought it looks really good on this fabric. Really good. So I'm pleased with that, and I'm happy with my finish. So that's a finish for November. I didn't have a finish in October other than my little Merry Mice. So I'm excited that I've gotten this one finished. And I'll have to see what I want to start, which one I want to start in January when I start the serial with the cross stitch finish line. So looking forward to that. I hope you guys are having a great week of stitching, and I hope the weather's doing well for you. It has turned cooler here. You notice I have on a little sweater. Feels like fall finally here at the 1st of November. So I'm feeling invigorated by the cool weather. I like that a lot. So I will talk to you the next time that I have finished a rotation on a piece. And then the next time I see you, I will probably be at my retreat in Sevierville, Tennessee. So I look forward to talking to you about that and sharing all that with you. In the meantime, happy stitching. Bye. Hello everyone, this is Dina, and today is Monday, November the 13th, and I am back from the stitching retreat in Sevierville, Tennessee that was sponsored by Katrina Boyd, and I wanted to show you some gifts that I received, some special items that people had either made or brought with them to share, and tell you a little bit about the retreat and show you my stitching progress. So let's get started. I want to just thank Katrina again for a wonderful retreat. My husband and I traveled over on Thursday afternoon and got situated at the hotel, and there were several people there who had the same idea to come a little bit early. So we all got together and went to dinner. If you're ever in the Sevierville area and you want a really good Southern meal, check out the Applewood Farmhouse restaurant there in Sevierville. I think you'll enjoy it. Anyway, I'm excited to say that we had probably 10 or 11 people that went to dinner that night and had a great time kind of getting the party started a day early. But we all got there on Friday morning to get started stitching. And you just come in, as you know, and you pick a spot and get settled in. But we had a big surprise because Katrina had arranged for 2 things. She had been working with Teresa from Shakespeare's Peddler, and you may have already seen this on Lori's video at Mischievous Stitcher, but this is an exclusive design made for Katrina's retreats. And as of now, that's the only way you can get it. But it's really, really pretty, and it comes with your threads and finishing fabric. And Teresa had a trunk show there. Shakespeare's Peddler, beautiful models that were stitched up and framed on display. And at the end of this video, I was very, very pleased and honored that I was able to interview her as she walked me through all of her designs that she had on display and told me a little bit about some of them and answered a few questions for me at the end about her designing process. And I hope you'll enjoy getting to meet her as you get to know a new designer, or maybe get to know a little bit more about someone you've been following for a while. But I met her for the first time there, and I thoroughly enjoyed getting to know her. So we had that as a wonderful treat this year. We've all said many times that stitchers are the most wonderful, kind, giving people you'll ever want to meet. And that is absolutely true. And I'm just going to share some of this just to illustrate that to you, because people are just kind. You know, they just think of you and they do kind things. I haven't asked if I can share people's names. I didn't think about doing that, so I won't, but I'll just let you know a little bit about what happened and how this gift came about, and just thank the person. They know who they are, and I just want to acknowledge the gift. I met a delightful person at this retreat last year, and we hit it off very well, and we have kept in touch a little bit throughout the year, emailing each other on occasion, you know, just keeping up with one another. And this year, I'm happy to say that my friend was able to return for the retreat, and we were able to reconnect again in person and just talked and laughed and shared stories about our families and had a fabulous, fabulous time. And just to show you how kind and considerate this individual is, she had made a contribution to a charity, and this is called World Crafts, and it's called Back to Africa Jewelry, and it's a group of artisans, most of whom are single moms or they're refugees, and to make a living and stay out of poverty, they make jewelry. And one of the jewelry pieces that they make is this one. It's a wooden cross or porcelain cross, ceramic I think it is. And then there's a little heart charm on it. And this was purchased by my friend with a donation to this group in my honor. Isn't that kind? Oh, so sweet. So I have been wearing this today and thinking of her all day and her kindness. So thank you. Again, you are so sweet. Kind people, thoughtful people. In addition to that, there was another lady who I had not met in person, but she's made comments on my video, and I'm just so happy I finally got to meet her. And she came over during the retreat and gave me a small travel size orts catcher and pin cushion. This is weighted, and so you put this on the table, on the tabletop next to you like this, and your little orts bag hangs off the table, and you can just drop all your threads in it, and you can keep your counting pins or extra needles if you want in here, but it just keeps it so handy right at your place. I just love it. I think it's so precious, and these little buttons are just really, really cute. And you can see there are decorations on the two sides there, the little pearl heads. And so I love it. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. very, very much. And that was for making a new friend. And she was just thoughtful and had brought that for some of the people she wanted to acknowledge that she'd been watching their videos. And then our beloved Vanna brought us all a treat. This is a sponge, a little piece of sponge that she's put in a clear container. And you can wet the sponge. I haven't wet mine yet. You can wet the sponge, and if you're a floss licker, you can run the ends of your floss across here, and you don't have to put it in your mouth. And also, Vanna was sharing with me, if you have some floss that starts getting a bit knotty, you know, and starts tangling a bit, you can run it through here, and it'll help kind of keep it from doing that. So this is going to be something new I try very soon. I am a needle threader. I don't lick my threads, but I do get frustrated when I start getting knots in my threads. And I've noticed lately that there are some that's happening quite frequently. So I am looking forward to see how this works to stop that. And then, of course, we had all sorts of fun games. We had a Sneaky Santa exchange where anyone who wanted to had prepared a package, a gift bag full of just anything they wanted to put in the bag. We had a limit on what we could spend. So the bags would be, you know, primarily around the same value. So you just go up in the order that you draw a number out of a bag. So, you know, you get 1 through however many. And when your number's called, you go up and you pick a bag. Or if someone ahead of you has opened something that you like, you get to take it from them. So I went the first time that my number was called, and I picked a bag from the table. And even though I was very tempted to take a bag that Nessie had opened, and she thought I was coming for it, but I took one off the table the first time. Yes, my bag was taken later, and so I had to go back and get another gift. So Nessie wasn't safe the second time. I took it. Marlene and Vanna are praying for me. So I just think it's funny because someone said at the retreat that I had a tendency to pick nice presents. I had 4 of my gifts stolen from me in the sense of the game. And finally, on the 5th one, I just said, okay, I'm going back to the table. I'm not taking anything. It's brought terrible karma on me. I went back to the table and I got a gift, and I loved it. It was perfect. I've been making Christmas ornaments, you know, since Mania. And the gift had finishing fabrics and trims and buttons, and it's all Christmas. I'm so excited. I can't tell you. I'm thrilled. It was a perfect box for me. And I will tell you, at the end of the game, the person who went first gets the chance to look around the room and decide if they want to steal anything. And if they do, they just swap with you. And that lady came. I won't tell you who she was. She was just being funny. But she came over acting like she was going to take mine. She didn't. She let me keep it. But it was great fun. And when the game was over and everybody realized they had their gifts, that nobody could take them from them, they laughed and said, whoo, yeah, they were so excited. It was quite fun and all in good-natured. And I will say that Vanna's gift that she brought was stolen, the maximum amount that it could be stolen, as were some others. So you can tell you've had a good idea when your bag gets stolen, the maximum times that it can be. The other thing that we did was, on a voluntary basis, if you wanted to, you made a Christmas ornament, and we had an exchange for that. So on that one, it wasn't a steal situation. You just went and picked the bag you wanted, and that was your ornament. And I'm really glad that's the way it was, because there's no way I would have come home with my ornament had we been able to steal. I'll show you the ornament that I got. Do you recognize it? I had no idea whose it was. I just picked the bag that I wanted, and this is the ornament that I received. So I got Vanna's mitten ornament that she showed on Facebook recently. And I told her when I saw it, I told my husband, I said, look at this. This is such a neat idea. I hope that Vanna brings that with her to this retreat, and I hope I get it. And I did. So thank you again, Vanna. You can see she's got her initials and the year on the back. So I can always remember when I got this. So this is going up on the tree. There were other little fun activities at the end of the second day, toward the end of the evening, but as people were, before they would start leaving, Katrina had door prizes. And so again, we just drew a number, and she started pulling these numbers and calling out your number, and you would get a door prize. So this is the one that I won. And it is a 4-inch ruler, but it's also a floss organizer. So when you have a little project, you can put your floss right here and just keep it handy. Isn't that precious? I think that's great. And I love the design on it that's hand painted on there. Isn't that beautiful? Never seen anything quite this ornate for this purpose. So those are all my treasures, my gifts, things that I won, things that people gave me. So I just wanted to acknowledge that and just say again, we have some pretty neat people in our community. We really do. All right, so let's do a WIP update before we get to the footage of the retreat. I worked all day Saturday on one thing. I had planned on working on about 4 to 6 projects over the course of the 2 days. But I found that the first day there, you stop, you have lunch with everyone, you're talking and you're shopping. It takes a while to get through looking through all the patterns and fabrics and threads and everything. So I made myself stitch on this piece until I finished a motif. So I got one more motif on here, I think, since I've shown it to you. So you'll see, I think, just a tiny bit of progress, but this is one day's effort. I got this whole motif here done. So this is my Quaker Christmas II, and it actually, this motif is split in the pattern. So I actually went over onto page 2, just like I did on Full, Faithful. I had to get Full off of page 2. So the page 2 runs about right here. So now I have finished all of the top row on page 1. And I can now drop down here and do the bottom row of page 1. And if I can get that done, that'll be my first page finish in here. So I'm pretty excited that I got that motif completed. It was, it's not hard to do, but it was a bit difficult to do while talking to everyone. So I did take my twistable crayon pencils, and I did mark every stitch because it had to help me keep everything focused. The other stitching that I did was just small pieces, trying to touch a couple more WIPs. I just did one color of green on my Nantucket rose. I'm not finished with it. I'm not through with that piece for a rotation. I just got started on it. And actually the reason that I stopped stitching it was kind of funny. Stephanie from Stitching It was coming around filming us stitching. And she did a great video. She's already put it out there. She actually edited it and uploaded it while she was at the retreat. We were sitting there. I was amazed. She was just doing it right there at the table on her iPad, I think is what she was working on. And but she came around to film everybody stitching, and when she got to me, she said, Dina, will you let me know the next piece you work on, because the last time we were at a retreat and I filmed you stitching, that was the one you were working on. I had no idea. I didn't even remember when I had, what I had worked on at the last retreat, but she apparently did. So I finished that one color that I was working on, and so that I didn't hold her up working on her video, I went ahead and swapped it out, and I pulled out Into the Autumn Sky, and I stitched on it long enough to get a shoe, the second shoe done. That was my goal for that piece this month, to do the second shoe and then work my way on around the bottom of that skirt. So needless to say, I am not finished with that rotation either. So I'd rather wait and show you those when I finish them for the month, when I finish working on them. I'm gonna take this week to pull out my retreat pieces that I worked a little bit on, those two. And I'm gonna finish my rotation on both of those this week. And I also will be working on my Mill Hill Christmas ornament, Cozy Feet, on the 15th, because that is the day that Terry and I do our ornament sale for our Stitch from Stash postcard pal. That was one of the things we decided to do together. So I will have all of that to share with you next time, but I think so that I can put the retreat footage out there in a timely manner, I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up today. I'll put the retreat footage here at the end, and that'll be it for this update until the end of the month. Hope you're having a wonderful month of stitching. I go around and ask everybody to tell you what they're stitching on and let you see who's there, what they're doing, and then at the very end will be Shakespeare's Peddler and the trunk show, and I hope you enjoy it. So I'll go ahead and say my goodbyes here, and thank you for watching, and I hope you have a great rest of the month in your stitching world, and get lots of stitching done. Happy stitching, everyone. Bye. What you looking for?
Patterns.
You're so organized. It's all around the floor.
I may have to borrow money for gas to go home.
Call dear friend.
Call a friend. So pretty.
It's called Faded Glory. It's an old pattern from Jeanette Cruz, 1990.
1990. You're doing that for your son, right?
Yes, I am.
Awesome. There's Stephanie editing the video she's shooting. I have a different finish coming. That's awesome. She's Dina.
Hey there.
Hey, what you working on today?
Quaker diamonds. Walk of shame here. Let me show you. Started August 2011. This is how far I've gotten. So.
It's beautiful, though.
Yeah, thank you.
Absolutely beautiful. Joanna. Hello.
Jolly Jack.
Jolly Jack. Working on that for a finish today, maybe?
Hope.
I appreciate you saying that sincerely.
Hello, Lana.
Hello.
This is your break.
Here's Lori.
Hi,
What you working on? Hey.
working on the pins and needles. Needles and pins.
Needles and pins.
I'm building a house this weekend.
Oh, that's nice. It really is.
And you got, what's going to be your retreat start this time?
Look at my stash of patterns for this weekend. This one is a retreat special by Teresa, the Shakespeare's Peddler. So she's selling them through Katrina. So I will start this later this evening. Comes with everything.
Yeah, all the floss and everything. So that's an exclusive for Katrina.
For Katrina here with the crossstitchretreats.com. Check her out. You love it.
Excellent.
And ours
Okay. Say your name for everybody that doesn't know you.
Patricia.
And what you working on, Patricia?
Well, I'm working on a printed off, so I can't show an ornament pattern, but I'll show what's on the other side that I finished earlier. So,
Oh, how pretty.
Autumn
Love your
Keeper
colors.
by Barbara Anna. Barbara Anna.
Is this your first retreat?
It is my first retreat.
What do you think of it?
Very, very nice. Very fun.
I'm glad you're having a good time.
Hi. I'm Teresa. I'm stitching on Prairie Schooler.
All right. And are you part of the trunk show?
I am the trunk show person. Yep, I've got a whole bunch of samplers over there and other pieces I designed and having a great time.
All right. Well, I want to go shoot some of those. You want to come tell me about them?
Oh, okay, sure.
All right.
You want to do that now or?
Yeah, we
Okay.
can do that now after I talk to you.
This is Cat and Mouse from Kathy Barrett.
I love that.
Isn't that cute?
That looks great.
I'm working on this little face, and then I just have a little bit to go. Little bit.
Little bit. Well, thank you.
So this is a kit that I designed exclusively for Katrina, and she can sell it through her retreats and her website. And it says, "Let your heart be light." And the kit comes with everything but the fabric to stitch it on, but it does come with the Blackbird Designs backing fabric. And I just tea and coffee dyed a piece of 32 count linen for that, but it comes with a little rusty pin. It's very cute.
Very cute.
This is Elizabeth Milner. That's a reproduction sampler. It's pretty cool because she her borders are like, she just didn't do a great job.
So it is true to
It is true to what she did. She just kept stitching, and if she went outside the lines, that's just what she did. This sampler here is called Sweet Temper, and that's an original sampler design of mine. And it's got the shortest Bible verse on it, which is Jesus wept. She had to stitch a Bible verse, and she didn't want to stitch forever, so she just made it real short.
I love that story.
And this is Jane Pattison. That's a reproduction, and this one, I'm not for sure on it, but I think it was probably Scottish because it's got the rose and thistle. And it's got a really cool pine bough border with almost like ornaments, and it's stitched in sampler thread wools.
Oh,
Which is kind of cool. They're really soft to work with. Like
Yeah.
they're not bad.
they're not bad.
This one is Mercy Goodheart, and that's an original design. And it's got a butterfly and a chrysalis and a caterpillar on it, which I think is kind of cool. And this weird kind of stripy bird. A lot of people like that bird.
Very unique.
Yes. This is Jenny Bean's Humble Servant sampler, and that's in an old colonial box, which you can still get. You can get those. They're very nice. Yeah. This is Jenny Bean's Halloween sampler. That's an original design too. Anne Womack. This is a reproduction of a sampler all in red. This alphabet here is over 1 on 40 count, so it's very, very tiny.
Very tiny. Very,
But there's
very
four-sided stitch and eyelet stitch, which is fun to do. And then this is Fractor Friends. This is an original design, and it's on silk gauze. I'm trying to remember how many stitches are in this one. It's crazy. It's like 60,000 stitches or something.
Oh my
insane like that.
goodness.
Yeah.
And it's so small.
Yes, and but I have seen people stitch it over too, and then just not fill the background in, and it is really cool that way too.
Okay.
But the story is, it's one kind of really put together friend, like who's very prim, and her house is kind of fancy, and then this girl, she can see she's got patches on her dress, and she's not as, her hair's kind of wild, and this girl, it's like all neat and tidy, and she's got kind of pretty, kind of fancy flowers, and this is more like kind of weeds. So it's kind of just like two friends, and they're very different, but they're still really good friends.
They're still friends.
Yep.
Right.
This is Andale, a part of Andale, and the Andale, you can get this whole chart for the Andale reproduction, which is a very pretty sampler. And that's a 65,000 stitch sampler, so that is a huge one. Yep.
Yeah.
This is Jenny Bean's Friendship sampler, and so that's part of the Jenny Bean series, and it's just 4 different types of this house. This girl likes cats. This, and they've got a brick house and a stone house and a log cabin. So I tried to make it like it was 4 different friends.
And that's just about finding true friendship.
Yeah. Yep. This is the Magic Garden sampler. That was kind of inspired by Tim Burton's Alice in Wonderland, and I don't even really know why. After I saw that movie, I made a purple carrot and black flowers and just kind of
Different, very different.
just different. Yep.
Yeah.
This is Christmas is Coming. And it's that old song, Christmas is Coming, the Goose is Getting Fat. And that one's kind of fun to stitch. This one is a reproduction, Christmas colors.
Those are beautiful.
Yeah, it's kind of a cool little sampler. I have the original, I didn't bring it with me, but it's just kind of, just a couple colors. And you can see the borders. I think she started here, and then she just kind of ricocheted. She'd get to the corner and then just, because it's not, yeah, do whatever, and because it doesn't, none of it matches, which I really like.
Oh, that's great.
This is a Sarah Woodham, and that's the original sampler from 1770. It's in very delicate condition,
Yes.
but it's such a pretty sampler, and the verse is really cool. It's about just being really super thankful for all the gifts that you have and recognizing there are a lot of people that aren't as lucky. Which is neat. This one is A Weary World. And everybody loves that old song.
I'm not even sure I remember her.
And then, so this is the last of the samplers. I brought, this is Hannah Carter, and it's a reproduction. And it's kind of cool because it's from 1838, but it's got a Christmas tree with ornaments and a moth that's being drawn to the light of the tree. And 1838 was super early for a Christmas tree. The royal family started putting a tree in their house like in 1835 or something like that. And then, within 20 years or something, it had gotten really super popular. But 1838, that's a very early kind of representation of a Christmas tree.
So does that imply that the original
I don't think
stitcher might have been close to the...
I think, it's like we watch royalty nowadays, and you kind of are like, oh, I wish I,
want to copy them.
Yeah, we don't have a tree, but I stitched a tree. And I like the verse on that one, to just speak evil of nobody, just be just and fair.
Right.
And then these are some of my Raise the Roof designs. Everybody, knows the clotheslines. They've been around a long time.
They're so cute,
turkey
though.
dressing and Witchy Washy was the first one. And that one's, I think, 14 years old now, at least. And Santa Claus, and these are all just beat up. The frames get beat up. They've been everywhere. And then Sam's socks, shorts, and such, the 4th of July one.
4th of July one.
And then I've got a couple of Christmas pieces. This is Christmas, and it's got charity and love and joy. And I just put kind of motifs that are, I try to do like kind of retro colors, pink and red and avocado and...
Like that lime green.
Yes, and then Jolly Joy Jingle is another original design. That one, I really like stitching Fancy that, and I miss her big apple cheek people that she used to do, and so I kind of was inspired by her to kind of create something similar. And so the Boo Scurry here just is kind of, another one. And they're both on Picture This Plus fabrics.
That's a beautiful fabric.
Well, so I stitched this piece and I called Marilyn at Picture This Plus and I said, hey, just so you know, I stitched a model on your Raisin Fabric 32. And she goes, no, we just discontinued that. And I was like, what? And she said, it's the dye. We can't get the dye anymore, and we can't make the fabric look like it. And I was like, no, because it's literally like I just printed it and it's packed and ready to go. So they have a fabric called Barnwood that's very close.
Okay,
and so that's what I recommend.
Okay, so if you want to get that one,
If you want to get that one, get
you
Barnwood.
recommend Barnwood.
Yep.
Okay.
And then this last one here is called Pumpkin Joe, and it's on Weeks Dye Works Cognac. And I actually designed this just to fit the frame. Sharon Crescent from Crescent Colors had sent me a box full of frames and said, hey, see if you want to design anything for any of these. And I thought this frame was kind of unusual.
It is.
And
it goes great with that fabric.
yeah, so I just designed the piece to fit the frame.
Yeah.
Which is just how it goes sometimes. But that's my pieces.
So where do you get your inspiration from at various places?
You just sometimes you're just thinking about something, or you hear a song, or you see, even you see another design, and you just think, oh, I like this element of it, or I like these colors, or that makes me think of this. I don't know. Sometimes, like my Witchy Washy piece, which is my biggest selling piece of all time, I just thought of driving on the interstate. And it took me about 35 minutes to design that piece. Like I just knew it.
Yeah.
And then sometimes you just kind of like take a really long time to think about something.
Mm-hmm. And put what you want in there.
Yeah, I mean, it's just kind of paying attention to what other people are doing, and not that you copy, but you just get inspired by color, or you get inspired by the shape of something, or sometimes it's just like, oh, I feel like stitching geese, or
Yeah.
I like cats or whatever. You just think of things that you like or that are interesting to you, and you just design. You can't ever really think like, okay, what can I design that's going to be popular? Because you can't plan it. Sometimes you design something and you're like, this is amazing. I'm going to sell 1 million of this. And it's like crickets chirping. Like nobody else gets it. And then sometimes you design something that's kind of a throwaway where you're like,
Nobody's gonna like that.
or just like, I'm just going to do this real quick, get a design done. And then for some reason, that's the one that everybody kind of gravitates towards. And so you just really just have to just design.
And then let the ones that hit
And just,
forward.
just kind of, And then the thing is like, as you develop your line, you kind of learn like, what are the designs that I've done that are popular? And then it kind of funnels you towards more of the same. And so that's how I think a lot of people develop their look, that it's like, oh, okay, people really liked whatever, the bright colors that I used in this piece. So I'm going to do some more bright color pieces. I think
you develop your style.
You develop your style, and I think it's good, as a designer, when people can look at your piece. Like you can look at a shepherd's bush and say, "Oh, that's a shepherd's bush," or "Oh, that's a Lizzie Kate." And the people that it's like they're easily an identifiable style, I feel like those people have hit their groove. You know what I mean? That they have something that's unique and that people can definitely recognize. And so
if someone wants to order any of these patterns,
contact Katrina.
Okay.
Because she's gonna buy charts, all of these charts. But
she'll
you can
have
get
them available.
She'll have them available. But you can look, ask your local shop to order them through Hoffman or look online, your favorite store. So.
Well, I'll put Katrina's information below so
great.
they can get in touch with her.
All right. Thanks so
Thank
much,
you.
everybody. Bye.
Bye.